To start before the timer starts because I started. Don't start me yet. I heard Gina Jones was going to be the timekeeper, and so I wrote a bunch of extra stuff that I'm going to say. So see if I can get her to boot me off the stage. I know she is a former Marine, so I really did. I wrote this little short talk, but then I was inspired to tell a story about myself by one of the earlier talks today. I won't say which one it is. At the end of 1995, I was a budding software developer in Seattle, and I was poor. I had $350, and that had to last me until my first paycheck. So I spread resumes everywhere, and then I started making phone calls and follow-up visits, and to anyone who was hiring a software developer in Seattle. And I remember this one particular place that I went to. I took them a resume, and they said, "Oh, thank you." Called them the next day. They said, "Oh yeah, we got your resume. Please don't call anymore. We don't really have somebody to answer the phones here." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I went back again the next day, and they said, "Please don't come here ever again." And the next day, when I went back, they kind of threw up their hands and said, "Oh, okay, well, we can offer you a job." But unfortunately for them, they were too late, because I had already gotten another job offer that same day from an internet service provider. And besides, who's gonna buy books on the internet? Really? Am I right? That is the story of how I almost was not here, or maybe I would have been the keynote speaker if that. But it illustrates the question: should we make software, or should we just buy it? And that question has been conclusively answered. The biggest bookseller in the world is a software company. Weight Watchers, the Ford Motor Company, the NSA, the Sunlight Foundation, your local real estate agency, manufacturers, traders, bankers, nonprofits, big companies, small companies, libraries, archives, museums, Microsoft, IBM, Apple. All of us buy some software, all of us make some software. I think most of you already have ideas about what kind of software you would make if you could make it. Some of you are making it already. And I want to talk about three topics, none of which are that. So you know what you want to make, and I will say there are three problems. How do you find the right people? How do you get them to work here? And where do you put them once they're here? So how do you find people? Make postings that lead with your technical problems. That'll find the people that you want to get. Use their technologies in your job posting. And then put them in places where there are developers. Code for Lib, Rails meetups, Django district, spring training, whatever you can do to find developers and get those job postings led with the technical problems in the front. Second, how do you bring them to your cause? You start by offering enough money and understanding that you're not hiring an intern to update your webpage once a week. You're hiring someone who will be instrumental in your organization. And then to the extent possible, you provide a set of like-minded people for them to work with. Other new hires are fine, or people who are working in the organization, but be serious about it, keep the tasks visible and aligned with the mission of the organization. And then for the hard one, where do you put them? Your programmers are not part of an IT shop. That's a thing of the past. They're the core of your organization now, and putting them in the basement with the rest of the nerds belies a misunderstanding of the central role of what they're doing for you. These are the us in the room. And I think that to correct an even worse misunderstanding, they're also not part of a software company that you just happen to have an exclusive contract with. They're not other, right? So where do you put them? Put them as close to the problems that they are solving as is organizationally possible, while still keeping them in a somewhat cohesive group. Now, the last thing that I want to say is individually, each of these things are very hard to do. Collectively, they are nearly impossible. It's hard to do this. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of investment. And better than doing all of these things is to transform ourselves into software developers. And that is the importance of being developers with 17 seconds left to go. Thank you very much.